I like to share things that I'm doing. And one of the things that I try to do is a weekly email, right? But Atomic Habits says if we want to do things on a consistent basis, it's got to be easy and obvious. So one of the things that I am working on is setting up a template for a monthly newsletter. Who here would think a monthly newsletter would be a good use of your time, right? It's got maybe community events. We're gonna go over kind of all that stuff. We're gonna talk about how to set it up in my Weichert. That way you sort of have a template that you work off each month and you could clone that template and do all those cool things. So this is something that I am working on, and I'll kind of show you my progress with it. Why would a monthly newsletter matter? So email marketing is something that is, I mean, it was really popular in the past, and then it's sort of died down, right? Everyone was getting these spam, everything was getting all these, all these emails, and people would have these fake emails. They would start second emails just to bail on the one they currently have. But it's proven that email marketing works, right? It's a great way for real estate agents to stay top of mind, and especially in your database, if you're providing real content and real things of value, they will click on it and they'll open it. And we see that with my Weichert, that those property search alerts, a lot of people open those. The property valuations, a lot of people open those. So those are things that people see value in. They're not unsubscribing, and they're also clicking on them very consistently. Do you guys see that in your database as well, on your dashboard? People like that, right? They like the search results. I know I do. So if we do a monthly newsletter, maybe we can provide more value, more information, and get them to click more, right? So it's 12 high value touches per year. If we're doing them weekly, not if we're doing emails weekly, that's 52 touches. But how can we, what do we send, right? I'm going to give you 12 right away, right, in your monthly newsletter. Keeps you top of mind with your sphere of influence and database. I've been stressing nonstop that the vast majority of the business we're getting and agents all throughout the country is sphere of influence. So again, not just your closest people, but just anyone you know that knows you, you can leverage that to get them to see you as a real estate professional. And if they do have real estate needs, hopefully you're top of mind where they're going to use you. It also builds long-term trust and positions you as the go-to resource. If you send these things without fail, I mean, there's a reason why Kohl's does it. All these companies do these newsletters. It's because it works. Easy way to stay consistent if other marketing slows down. So it's something you could just do without fail. And it's good use of our time, right? We talk about using my Weichert as leverage to do a lot within a limited amount of time. So we all have busy lives, whether it's personal, whether it's second jobs, whatever it might be. So it allows us to do that, and consistency builds credibility. I'm fairly consistent with those Monday emails, right? Reminding you of the sales meeting, doing all that. And have I missed some in the past? Yes. But do you guys see that pretty much every week on a Monday? And it's easy, right? Now you can click on the sales link. So why can't we do that on our customer level? Okay. So part of a winning strategy, you think of your email as a rhythm, right? It's something that could be a rhythm, and you're going to get momentum. So weekly emails keep momentum and being relevant. Monthly newsletters can be your anchor, right? The other ones could be fill in, but maybe you spend some good time creating a really good monthly newsletter. It helps balance engagement without overwhelming your list, and it's perfect for nurturing leads that aren't ready yet. They see that every month, just consistently, like clockwork. And every open is a touch, right? When you see, do you know we can all search to see who opens your emails? Do you know that?
No.
If you hit that drop down on your dashboard where you can see valuations, hot leads, all that stuff, one of them is email events. And when you click on email events, you can actually view who opened your email and when. So every day you could look, and if people opened your email that morning, maybe it's good use of time to have a follow-up. Hey, just checking to see if you checked out my newsletter. Did you see that we're having a street fair on Main Street? I'm going to be working it. I'd love for you to stop by and say hi. Even if they don't come, is that a second touch? Is it a personalized, customized follow-up? Yeah. Could that be the difference between them thinking you're sending spam, or wow, this person actually knows who I am and follow up with me? So that could be good use of your time, is send a monthly newsletter. Once it's sent, look who opened it and do a customized follow-up for that person on whatever you think might be relevant. Okay, not just the same follow-up, but a customized one for that particular person. And it could be even changing the subject. hey, did you see my newsletter? I'm having a street fair. By the way, how's Sally doing in college, whatever it might be. What can you include in this great newsletter? So local real estate stats, people like talking about real estate. There's a lot of headlines out there and a lot of information. So why not provide some information regarding stats? Just kind of a quick side note. I had gotten an email from a real estate attorney who's representing a seller of mine, talking about how the offer is a little weak because it's only 10% down. Isn't it a seller's market? What other offers do we have? And needless to say, it did not make me happy. But I put together two stats: the market absorption rate in the town as a whole, and the market absorption rate in the price point that we're asking. And it was like 2.1 months as a whole, and it was closer to 4 months in the price point. So yes, we're in a seller's market, but this is a good offer and we should entertain it. And he responded pretty well to it. Community events, farmers market, street fairs, local spotlights. We're approaching that season where there's a lot of things going on. So I don't think we're going to have a hard time finding content to put into our newsletter. Local business features, support small biz and build goodwill. Farmingdale Chamber, Massapequa Chamber, Amityville Chamber, they do ribbon cuttings. And they post on their website pictures of that ribbon cutting. Maybe each month you highlight one of the ribbon cuttings in the business. And then definitely share that with that business too. Hey, check out my newsletter. I featured your ribbon cutting in that newsletter. Seasonal tips, home maintenance, decorating ideas. If you're a real garden guru, have some stuff on that, not you. Maybe make a joke, a little garden thing. And I don't have a green thumb, but this might put you on a path to get there. Your wins. So one of the things we're starting to get away from as a real estate industry is me. I sold this, I did that. But it's still important to do that, just not all in, right? So share some of your successes. More so share the stories of those successes. Hey, I just sold this. This is one of the challenges we had, or this is one of the challenges or concerns my seller had, and this is what we did in my custom marketing plan to overcome it. So maybe that should be a feature each month. Think of it as a personal publication for your audience, right? So what's interests you, and what do you think your audience might be interested in? And a lot of this stuff, they are local events, street fairs. People want to find things to do. Position yourself as a local expert. So sharing valuable, hyper-local content builds your authority. Your database starts to see you as more than just a real estate agent. So this is, I talk about flipping a switch, right? From being, someone used that example. Oh, Maria used the example that, her cousin always called her little something, right? Last week. And all of a sudden she provided this work that she did for her, I think, mom's house. And he was very impressed, right? So flip that switch. Don't just be, the weed guy or the grandma. Be the real estate agent, okay? You like I said, weed guy? Helps generate referrals and repeat business, right? When you stay relevant. So we know there's stats on the fact that past clients will work with you, right? What 90% of past clients would work with you again if you ask them that question, but a vast majority don't. And why is that? Because we don't have good follow-up. So this newsletter could be a way to have better follow-up. So how do we do it? So when we go into my Weichert, on the left-hand side, you have that thing called marketing, okay? And in there, you can hit manage campaigns. And we're not going to really get into campaigns, but this is how you would manage your campaigns, where they get all those automated emails and texts as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a template, an email template. And in order to do that, we go to our campaigns. So manage campaigns, and I'm going to send this out to everybody afterwards. Once you do that, if you look on the top hand arrow, you have my campaigns, system library, and templates. So by default, it's going to be on my campaigns. So if you search newsletter, you're not going to find anything. So you got to hit templates, okay? And then you're going to be able to search for templates, and you just write newsletter. And you're going to see both of those there, newsletter, and then weekly video newsletter. So your newsletter is a template. And what we're going to do is we're going to clone that template. So if you see on the action, you can hit clone. And this is where you're going to customize it, and you're going to be able to edit it. So when you hit that, you're going to be able to name it. So what I did the other day was newsletter, Jared's May Volume 1. Okay. And subject line is not going to be newsletter. So that's something I'm going to work on a good subject line. So on the bottom arrow, you're going to see clone template. And now we have our own template. So the ones that are in the system, you're not really able to edit that much and save. Once you clone it, it's yours. It's your template. So you can save it and go back to it and do all kinds of things at different times. What I decided to do is I went to Canva and I just searched newsletter header photo. And you can get a ton of options. You see all those options there, right? Find something that works. You know, this is your newsletter. It should look how you want it to. So if we don't have a Canva account, they're free. You can jump on and you're going to create a header. That way, every month, it looks the same. It's going to have the same format, same picture. So I was playing around with it.
But within Lightroom?
No.
Outside.
Yeah, Canva.com. And if you look at this top one, your travel agency, get your travel comfort, I used that template and I came up with this, Jared's monthly newsletter. And I used some personality traits, sort of, right? Long Island local, outside every chance, imperfectly human. Okay. I don't know if you like it or don't, but that's what I came up with. And then a picture of myself. So every month they're going to get this, and that's going to be what they see right away. So now, when you go into your template, the one you cloned, you're going to have the ability, just like that email format. If you guys have created emails, you can, and I didn't change any format. This is the format. So right at top, there's a picture, and there's a way to upload the picture and input it in there. And if you look there, Memorial Day article header, so that is going to show up. And then I don't know what language that is, but that's where you're going to put some text. So what you're going to want to do is work on this. Were you trying to read it?
Yeah.
I think it might not be a real language, but I think the reason why they do that is to make sure you edit it, right? You don't just keep the text in there. You know, clearly that makes no sense. So I'm going to go ahead and edit it. So let's say I didn't have enough time and I save it and I get out. And the next day, what I could do is I'm going to go to the same thing. I'm going to go to marketing. I'm going to go to campaigns. I'm going to hit templates. And now I can edit my newsletter. So if you see there, newsletter, Jared's May Volume 1, I can hit edit, and now I can edit it. Easy enough, right? A few things. So MindWiker makes it easy, right? These pre-designed email templates are designed to make it easy and obvious. It takes the guesswork out of formatting, but you can, I mean, you could format your own newsletter if you wanted to, but I would say use this as a starting point. And as you play around with this, what you could find is there's going to be a lot of options on photos, links. You could delete some of them. So your first newsletter might not be super, you know, complicated, I guess is for lack of a better word. So you could delete some of those things. You could put in that subject line, add a few links, whether it's a ribbon cutting business spotlight, what's happening in the real estate market, a testimonial, and then just delete all the other stuff, and that will be your first newsletter. And then start simple and grow it over time. So you don't need to launch the perfect newsletter from day one. Start with 3 key sections and maybe delete the rest. Market update, event spotlight, and maybe a tip, something like that. Add more as you go. So it's something that could grow. Because you have a template, you could keep growing it. And what I would maybe recommend is each month cloning the one before, because the first one you're going to have before you delete all that stuff, it's going to have a lot of options and a lot of features. If you delete all that, you're going to have to manually put them back in or start from scratch. So if you continue to clone the last one, you're going to have all that stuff, and then you might grow and add stuff to it. Does that make sense? Kind of, sort of, maybe. And add more as you go. So you can add interviews, community shout outs, personal stories, use feedback from your audience to shape future content. And you can even ask for input, you know, at the bottom. You know, I'd love to, what are you interested in? Give me some input on what you think of the newsletter. And who knows, maybe somebody might just hit reply. So consistency is better than complexity, right? If it's easy and obvious, you're going to do more of it. If you try to make it super complicated, you're going to do a lot less or never even get started. And then just start. So I want everyone to start that monthly newsletter. I think it's a great thing. Who thinks they could do that? Who wants to do that? Who sees value in it? You're like, my wife would definitely be interested in doing something like that. But we got to grow a database, right? And what's a way to grow a database and provide relevant information? I think a newsletter is a great tool. Again, we've seen people in our dashboard look and click on those search alerts and those market reports. So clearly they like that aspect of it and they're not unsubscribing. So let's build on that. And I think a monthly newsletter is a great way to build on that. That's it. That's all I got. What do you guys got going on? Successes, things you've been implementing? Anyone?
Just to let you know, on the template, when you open it up, it shows you a video. There's a video. Maybe 45 on how to use the new template system.
Oh, cool. A video pops up on just some, I guess, how to navigate to it.
How to edit existing templates in campaign building, create a new template without leaving the campaign and manage your campaign actions all in one experience. And then it's a minute 45 clips.
So watch that minute 45 clip and maybe you'll just have a couple of pointers on how to navigate through it. And Alessandra, have you been working on your custom pages?
Yeah, so I've been putting a lot of time into the North Carolina page. Still trying to tweak exactly what I want it to look like because there's just so much information. Like I have this vision in my head, but I've been working on it a little bit each day. So I'm excited to get that launched, and I'm thinking in my head that could be something I include on the newsletter.
A link to that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without fail, because a lot of people are thinking about that move. So
Mhm.
if you grow that database and you have a section on that every single time, it adds consistency. And
Yep.
now all of a sudden when someone is thinking about pulling the trigger and maybe moving out of state, specifically North Carolina, they'll be like, oh, I've been getting that newsletter consistently for the last 8 months. Clearly she's the expert on this. Let me reach out to her. And in that webpage, maybe talk about how you also have a network of brokers throughout the whole country where if you're thinking about other states, you could also assist as well. So
For sure.
that's all we got for that.